Okay guys, welcome into Ultimate Soccer CPL Week 4. We're going to touch the post-game York United Forge very quickly. And we're going to be talking about that red card and also the goal. Two high points of the game, and both need touching. Both need addressing, especially the red card. Anyway, after that, we're going to preview quickly in the Fast and Furious style the remaining three games. That is VALOUR FC taking on Halifax Wanderers, ATLETICO taking on Pacific, and new guys, Vancouver FC, who are lighting up the CPL, taking on big team CAVALRY FC. Could that be an upset in the making? Anyway, let's get into the first game of it all. And don't forget, Frank Yallop. Frank Yallop, massive Canadian coach, massive LA Galaxy coach when David Beckham was there, massive San Jose Earthquakes 2 times over. We're talking about a massive coach, but who doesn't remember? I mean, who can't forget? You can't forget Frank Yallop. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame as well. So a massive Canadian. Got an interview with Frank already coming. Next show up, Frank Yallop. 27 minutes long. You're going to hear some stuff you've never heard before. You will absolutely love the stuff you get out of that stuff, especially if you're a Beckham fan. Maybe you like that too. Anyway, that's what's coming next. But for now, we're looking at the York game taking on Forge. For my money, honestly, I'll tell you what, I watched the game and it was a midfield battle. There wasn't really too much to scream and shout about. Mini little crowd. Decent performance by both teams, but really nothing exciting. Now, the only thing you can talk about firstly is the goal, and Campbell puts one in there. The ball comes left to right across the field. Campbell one times, it sweeps it into the far corner past Jantsopoulos in goal. Now, when he shot, I didn't think it was going in. I thought, oh yeah, on target, good one. I expect the keeper to parry, save, or, you know, block it somehow. And I found myself going, oh, it went in. And Jantsopoulos looks and puts his, well, he basically buried his head in the sand, or in the grass, we should say. But the expression is bury your head in the sand. But he buried his head in the grass, and that was that. And that's really all you can write about the game. I wasn't thrilled, I wasn't entertained. It was quite a snoozer, actually. And I hope the next 3 games have more life than that. Now, on the red card, I got to say this much. Ashton Morgan gets the red card. Does he trample or scrape over Max Ferrari? Does he really? When you look at the pictures, I mean, we got one as best we can. But when you look at that kind of angle, or go on the highlight reels and check the game out. If you've got like Fubo TV or whatever subscriber you're watching, and you're watching Canadian Premier League, get on the Premier League, watch that game over and check that out. It comes in like the 91st minute, but for a red card, and I'm looking at the referee's position, and at one stage she's literally blocked by one player. When the incident's here, she's like behind a player when stuff's going on, so she didn't see everything, but she reacted so quickly with the red card. I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure you can't just give a yellow and a stern talking to? Was that really enough to pull the red card? And if you're going to be like that all season, like I said last season, stop pulling the red cards when they're like really no need to. Get a yellow card out, get a talking to, keep the players on the field, and don't shorten what the coach has to operate with for the next game, because the next game being what people are paying. They're paying to see these games. It's all about money, yeah? So the more red cards you give out, the less superstars in the game, the more people won't come back. Well done, referees. Take that one on board. Anyway, on the day, 1-0 to Forge. And got to say, York United, 3rd loss on the season from 4, sitting in 5th. And Forge go back on the top where you'd expect them to be. Right now, 4 games in, 8 points. Next game up, VALOUR Halifax. VALOUR Halifax, both teams undefeated after 3. Yeah, VALOUR sitting in 2nd, Halifax at the moment sitting in 7th, but both undefeated after 3. One of these teams is probably going to lose that this weekend, and you're probably thinking, quite possibly VALOUR. I'm going to go with VALOUR. I talked to Phil DeSantos in the week, and he's getting that team back into the direction that they should be going. And TSS Rovers is in the past, so what a shocker. Great way to wake your people up, but on the day, I got to say, got to see more in front of goal from Halifax if this is going to go to the Wanderers, but I really have a feeling that this one is due to go to VALOUR. Next game we're talking about briefly, Atletico taking on Pacific FC. Let's go there. And Atletico taking on Pacific. Atletico right now in 8th. That's a place they haven't been for well over a year, when they went from worst to best, winning the title last year, remember? I don't expect Atletico to stay at the bottom. And Pacific is a big team as well. They're sitting right now in 4th. I think this one you could say has draw written all over it, because they're both counter-attack teams and they're both sitting deep and like to just go on the rush. you got to think maybe Atletico has the home advantage, but between these two teams, I think any team can take it on any day within this league, has been proven, and that surely is the case within this game too. I'm gonna just slightly favour Atletico on this one, so you Atletico fans, you're going to be happy with that one, and Pacific fans, don't hate me, you know you're kind of like my second favourite team behind Cavalry. Cavalry, yeah? I'm just kidding. Next game, we're talking about Vancouver FC taking on Cavalry. Is there going to be an upset? Let's take a look. Cavalry taking on Vancouver FC, Willoughby Stadium, Langley. Now, is Langley and Vancouver the same thing? Vancouver FC, Langley, is it the same thing? I don't know. Maybe it isn't. But Willoughby Stadium, Langley, that's where the game's coming off. New stadia, not stadium. It's already sort of like in the major sort of fix and mould of being built, and you know, it's not ready yet. It's going to take a little while, just like the team. But I've got to tell you, the team is playing absolutely astonishing well. Sitting third. And talking about Vancouver FC taking on Cavalry, is this going to be an upset? I don't know, you know. I tell you, it's going to be an interesting one. Cavalry so far, 3 games, 3 draws. Have had the lead in all the games they've played. 5 goals, have had the lead 5 times. They've had the lead 5 times. They've been pegged back. Vancouver FC been on the road, started with a loss, then it was a win, then it was a draw. And I got to say, not only do their fans excite you, because they've got a great little fan base down there, yeah, Fraser Valley Fanatics, but I got to say, the team is playing really, really well, and I think this could be an absolutely great game. I think this might be the game of the weekend. Reason why is that Afghan has got the team really well schooled for Vancouver. They hold and sort of secure the middle of the park, and they're making life really easy for themselves to just counter and block the throughs and literally close up the passing lanes. They're doing a fantastic job. Like I say, an expansion team to be doing this well. What's the future hold? If they carry on like this, it could be that they can make the playoffs after 28 games. On this game, though, I got to tell you, if Vancouver bring the same as what they've brought before in these last 3 games in the league, I think that they can well get a draw, if not win this game. It's up to what they bring and how they adapt and how they literally get into this game. If they're ready to go from minute 1, then Cavalry can be there for the taking. But one of the drawbacks, it's Vancouver FC's home opener, so is that going to really take away the occasion from the game, or the game from the occasion? Is it going to be getting on the minds of the home players that, hey, it's an home opener, bada bada bada? Are they going to think too much about the home opening and more about the game? I'm telling you now, it shouldn't be that way, but sometimes guys do think a little bit differently with a home opener, as Cavalry found out last weekend with a 1-1 draw with VALOUR at Cofield Spruce Meadows. On this one, like I say, it's going to go one of 2 ways. The favourite for the game would be Cavalry FC to get the win. It's got draw written all over it. But I wouldn't rule out Vancouver FC pulling another performance, and not a shocker. They're not shocking anybody. After 4 games competition-wise, you have to say they've shown what they're about. They're well-drilled, well-schooled, well-organised, and they can take opportunities up front when you make a mistake. So it could go one of 3 ways. The draw is what you're looking for. Cavalry should be the team to win it. But don't rule out Vancouver pulling another good performance and getting a possible home win. Let's see what happens. Anyway, let's take a look at what the coaches said. And Tommy Wheeldon Jr. is that man. He's going to be talking right now. I talked to him this morning.
Stephen?
You know what? I mean, let's face it, 2 points off the top. It's a positive all around, so there's no point for anybody to be down at this point in the time, hey?
No, listen, you appreciate the chat you had afterwards. We want to win our home games, right? That was the thing for me, and I felt we could be better. Like, it was just moments that we had that we could have been better, because we created those opportunities. And for us now, we've looked as a group where we can improve game by game, and that's what we did, is 1 game at a time. And now, like I said, we have that opportunity to go to Vancouver. It's their home opener, and go and enjoy that day playing our way and being able to impose ourselves on their home opener.
Now, touching on that home opener, I know you know what's coming down, but what kind of game do you think is going to be occurring?
What's occurring? It's going to be. I imagine it's going to be full of energy. I mean, why couldn't it be? It's a great game to be a part of, and like I said, we feel fortunate to be that game on the calendar. New stadium, new first game, new set of fans. And I think they'll be full of energy and excitement, and it's up to us to be able to control that. And I said, other games, how close has the league been so far? 1 goal, 2 points, 1 goal, 1 alls, 2 twos. It's tight. Nobody scored 2 goals in a row. So what a great opportunity to try and go and do that. And we do so with the greatest respect to Vancouver and what they've done so far.
Talking about Hundal up front, he's quite the forward. What are we looking there to sort of keep him on the radar?
Sorry, who did you say? Hundal?
Hundal up front.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do to keep him on the radar?
Yeah, look, he's done well. I mean,
should I not ask that?
Yeah, you've got to look at, like I said, their strengths. They've got, a good front three. Gabby Patar has done well this season so far. He's a lad we know well for having drafted him. And, Sandoval has done good. Elliot Simmons, a former player of ours, is playing well. Caden Chung's back in the league. And they've got good goalkeeping in Callum Irvin. And I think Ashvin's done a terrific job in terms of the way they're tactically set up. And like I said, it's a really new challenge. They're a bit different than teams we face. So again, another good opportunity. It's like anything. Our defenders have to win their matchups and our attackers have to win theirs. And that's the simple boilerplate answer. I mean, but we're fortunate now. I think Maya Bevan, he's on fire right now. 3 goals in 4 games. I mean, I don't know if that's really talked about enough, but he's looking good, and I think Ali Musi's looking good, and Mickey Cantave's got some magic in there. Joe Mason, Sergio's back in. So we've now got some attacking threats, and like I've always said, it's now about leaning into them, creating that chemistry, because I tell you, there's going to be a scoreline coming once it all clicks together.
Yeah. Question is morale and training. How has it gone this week? But you stole my question. I was looking to get some info on Maya Bevan, because 3 for 3, that's a hot guy moving forward. How happy are you with him?
He's been terrific. Like I said, we made that faith with him. We extended his contract in the off-season, as we did with Marco and Ali Musi, because I think with this league is you've got to make sure you recognise the strengths you have in your own backyard before searching for the ones outside. Maya Bevan, his personality is 10 out of 10. His work rate is 10 out of 10. His finishing ability is top draw. So we're lucky to have him. He's a player now that he just needs half a chance. He's really good mates with Joe Mason, and he's that much of a striker. Yeah. He took the ball off of Joe's foot for the goal against VALOUR. But that's a striker. He's on form. He wants to score, but he also wants to work for the team. He's relentless in his work rate. So we have to make sure we manage that too. And he's had a good week, and I'm sure he's a player that other teams are thinking about. So if he's being kept quiet, we've got to unlock with other parts of our arsenal.
Defending Maya, it's good for a striker to be greedy. I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from with that one. But finally, Nico Moroniak came on last game, 87th minutes, replacing Jesse Daly, who put in a fantastic shift. What did the young man come on for? What was his role in the last closing minutes?
Again, like I said about the development of young players, I'm a firm believer in that, and I think we've got a good record in players that have gone on into our first team, into more established leagues, international team setting. I'm a big believer in that. That's my job as the caretaker of the game here is to provide opportunities along with my staff for young players. And what we see with Nico, we threw him on for 60 odd minutes in the Can Champ game. We're like, right, yeah. the kid has to learn. He's got ability. Let's throw him in a 1-1 game. We could see Jesse had worked his socks off. He's still getting back to match fitness. So let's throw him on in a tight game. We knew there'd be like additional minutes at the end. So let's see how he experiences. He's got to be able to finish games, start games, impact games, and these are experiences that will help him grow.
Thanks for your time, Tommy. Good luck. I'm sure you're going to bring the beef home.
Appreciate it.
So there you go, big words from Tommy Wheeldon Jr., the Cavalry FC coach of Premier League team Cavalry FC. I'm going to be talking to Tommy after the game, so let's see what his views are there and how it goes at Willoughby Stadium in Langley on Sunday. Get behind your TV screens or get to the game if you're local and really have a good time. I'm sure we're going to have probably what I believe is going to be the most exciting game on the weekend, and if you've got a chance to watch it, you really should. I hope Vancouver really are too focused on their home opening and have an off game, and I really do hope my Reds come away with the 3 points, but you never know. It could go either way. If you're a CPL fan, drop a comment down below. Enjoy the league, and hey, pass it around to a buddy, have a few beers and watch the games and get everybody else into it. Remember, it's a Canadian thing. It's a Canadian thing, and Canadian things have to be pushed by Canadians, right? Anyway, get into the games. So like, subscribe, and like, and come back to us one more time for the post game coming up after Vancouver FC taking on Cavalry FC I believe is going to be the most exciting game of the weekend. Cheers.